Guys, have you all considered trying time tearing Morganite in mutants? But I've decided to give this card a try in this deck, and to my surprise, it's ridiculously good. Alright, here's a quick demonstration of how mutants really benefit from this card, because you have to think of it, right? The mutant cards basically want to normal summon to get the effect, and having double normal summon effect is quite good, as you can see in a quick example here. The deck does prevent you from activating hand traps, monster hand traps. However, you can play this deck without monster hand trap because it's a control deck. The monsters on the field hand trap cards do the bulk of the work. The only mutant card that has activation in hand effect is Mutant, and you kind of just can normal summon it, extra normal summon in the event that you have it in hand. So yeah, so basically it works perfect in the deck, and this example, it doesn't even showcase the double draw, so the deck benefits so much from the double normal summon, and the double draw is just a big plus. Now let's take a quick look at this deck profile. We're gonna start this profile maximizing on the small one, the lower numbers. They actually searchers, so free of the EST46, free of the M05, and also free of the newest one, which is the Mutant. It's a really good card. This on its own is already 9 starters. The deck typically has like 12 starters, which is ridiculous nice. Continuing off with the monsters, we are gonna play 2 beasts. Beasts is like one of the best level hits. One of the arsenal and one of the mist. Yeah, mist is not all that good, but it's still a name. It's still an option. It does advance the deck. There are times you are gonna get that draw too. Doesn't negate a trap, but does give a draw too, which is quite nice. From here, we are now gonna play, in terms of the spells, we're gonna play 2 of the field spells. You can actually play this at free and get away with it, being that you're playing so many of the mutant cards. Again, that extra normal summon, also the search effect, the return to deck and draw effect is quite nice. We are gonna play 1 of the fake shuttle fusion. Yeah, this card is quite nice. Your opponent activates a magic monster effect during this turn. You can actually use one of your fusion materials from the deck of grave. Next up, we are gonna move to the trap. I'm playing 2 copies of Mutant Expansion. I normally play this card at free, but being that we've done a few changes to the deck, just gonna keep this at 2. I'm gonna maximize on Mutant Cry. Yeah, I always want to see this card because it is so easy to go into your mutant big bad boys mutants that this card is always live. All right, here's the real spicy tech. Man, this card you could just call this card Mutant Time Tearing, because this card is really interesting. This card has really changed the development or dynamics of the deck. The fact that you have an extra normal summon is just so big for mutants, being that all these small guys actually gain the effect from being normal summon or special summon, and 2, you get that extra draw. Mutant never had a draw card. Well, they do, but it's crappy. So the fact that you can draw multiple cards, 2 cards every turn for the entire duel, is really nice. Yeah, it does cut you off from having monster effect, but like I said earlier, this drawback doesn't affect the deck at all. You can't play this deck without hand traps because you are playing some serious floodgates in this deck, which really slows down the opponent. Next, we're playing 2 copies of Triple Tactic Talent, TTT. For those of you who are on less budget, you can replace this with Call by the Grave. It typically breaks Ash back, which is what we're actually targeting. This bill is actually $100. However, I will be showcasing a $50 bill at the end of the video, with just some minor changes to some cards within this bill. We're also playing 3 copies of Emergency Teleport. Just more consistency for the deck. Like I said, this deck plays 12 starters, guys. 12 starters. Mostly every turn. If you go in first, you are gonna see a starter. If you go in second, it's definitely you are gonna see a starter card. It just shows the consistency of the deck is ridiculous. This is one of the most consistent budget decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! One hand trap you can escape playing is the Infinite Impermanence. It's not a monster, so we can actually play it. The time tearing doesn't affect it. Only affect monsters. So you are still free to play your Infinite Impermanence. So definitely we are playing 3 copies. It's such a good card. Such a good card. We are also playing 2 copies of Torrential Tribute. Yeah, it's a board wipe. And what I really like about Torrential Tribute, the interaction between Torrential Tribute and the Mutant Expansion. In the event you activate Torrential Tribute to clear the board, you can actually banish Mutant Expansion to protect your big boys. So this is one of the reasons that I love the Torrential Tribute. Now for the Floodgates, which is one of the best floodgates in the game, and this floodgate works perfectly with this deck. There can only be one. The opponent is only able to, anyone is only able to control one monster type. Man, with this card, you can full combo with this deck while being under there can only one, because all of your monsters, all you can see, all these big guys, Beast, Machine, Spellcaster, Psychic, all of them are of different type, which is so nice, man. And you're free to play Yu-Gi-Oh, so why not? And the next floodgate we are playing is 3 copies of Macrocosmos. Yes, yet another floodgate we can play, and that doesn't affect us whatsoever. It doesn't matter if our cards get banished. We get benefits from our cards being banished. We actually want our cards to be banished, so we actually don't even care. So Macrocosmos is so good, and it really affects, right? This is why only reason why Cash is so good, because Ariza banishes all monsters. Yeah, the other effect is broken also. The other effect is nice, but the Macrocosmos, and we've seen it multiple years within Yu-Gi-Oh! Every time a monster comes with a Macrocosmos effect, the deck always performs well. So our deck can play 3 Macrocosmos, why not? The extra deck can be altered in any way, but these are some of the cards I'm playing because I'm trying to keep it as cheap as possible. $100. Definitely playing 2 copies of the Mutant Fusion cards. These guys are Omni-Negate. This guy protects himself and pops a card. I really like this guy. The emphasis is it's just crazy. And man, okay, this package is really nice because when you're playing level 8s, and if your opponent just falters a little, you automatically win the game either with this guy or with this guy. Crazy, because two level 8s, you can go into the number 97, which allows you now to go into this card or this card, which allows you to go into this card or that card, right? And the other way you can just OTK 2 level 8s, you can go into this, which allows you to go into this bad boy, which is a new card just released a few months back. This card can attack on monsters 3 times with 4k attack. Dude, this is crazy. The other extra deck monsters, we are playing the Mech Knight, Crusader, Evermax. This card is a few cents now, why not? The Nightmare package, you know, for removals just in case. The Anima, you are playing a level 1. I really like Anima because, man, there are so many times I'm gonna go into Anima when after I special summon or summon the Mutant. Really nice. Also, sometimes these cards are gonna get a hand trap, and you, instead of just having them on the field, you can just go into the Almirage, which is a protection for your monsters, and the Crush Ship, which is an extender because you somewhat play fusion cards. But this is it right here. For the guys more on a budget, let's check out this build. So the difference in this build is we've changed the impermanence to Forbidden Chalice, which is a much cheaper version of impermanence. Doesn't have the hand trap effect, but does this something technically. We're playing 3 Torrential Tribute, and also we're playing a copy of Fall by the Grave. So this is just a minor difference you'll be making to the deck, and it will automatically get it half the price. Which is crazy. Half the price for the same thing. If you enjoy this, kick that like button. If you're new to the channel, you Yu-Gi-Oh! On a budget, subscribe.